Anthony hates mayo.
So first of all, my wife, every time I come here, she says, they're having you talk again? And what are you going to talk about? I'm like, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. And she always says, it better not be about condiments, which I don't think it has. But how many people are here for the first time? All right, a lot. Okay, so you do need a bit of an explainer because, and I'm going to tell this story again, others have heard it, but my wife loves it because it's humiliating to me. The first year we did Commenter Con, nobody really knew who anyone was. Susan probably knew a few people. We only knew each other by our handles on Powerline. And my handle, which seemed to fascinate everyone, was Anthony Hates Mayo because I actually detest mayo. And so I walked up to two gentlemen who I didn't know, and I presumed that they were sort of in the know, they were part of the community. And I said, hey, just to break the ice, I'm the guy that hates mayo. And it was clear within a millisecond they had no idea what I was talking about. And the one guy, oh, that's nice. As if this is the way I usually introduce myself in all social gatherings. Complaints about things that annoy me. And if you notice the genres that she was listing earlier about the types of humor, I think tonight it's going to be Tony complains about vacation, which is not really a genre, but that's what you're going to get. And I need to preface this by saying we went to the Outer Banks this summer. Anyone been to the Outer Banks? Everyone go there? Okay, we'll go to Corolla. And 6 wonderful days, great vacation, sort of. The 6th day, which was the 4th of July, I got a call from my neighbor who was watching our house. Called me at 11:30 at night. That's the first bad sign. And he's FaceTiming me and says, almost sobbing from my driveway, I'm so sorry I set your house on fire. That's not made up. He had put the fireworks debris in our trash can and thought it was out. Not out. And so, yeah, we were displaced from our house for 5 weeks. We just got back in 2 days ago. But that actually, so one of the things, it was good. It was a blessing. We weren't home. No one got hurt. Unfortunately, my daughter's guinea pig did survive. That was my biggest regret. I've mentioned the guinea pig before. Any of you ever had guinea rodents? So most of them live 4 years. Now, my daughter Jedi mind tricked me into getting this guinea pig when she was 8. It's still alive. So I call it Nosferatu, the vampire guinea pig that will never die. And I'm assuming it survived the smoke inhalation. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's only gonna make it stronger. We can't get rid of it. But the actual fire, well, so you also probably need to understand this about me. I think I like to joke around, but there are certain things that vex me. So when I'm hearing the story that our house was burning, you would have thought that I would have been upset because I'm known to get upset about rather trivial things. So for instance, there was the incident when I bought a refurbished weed whacker, that means broken, and it wouldn't start after I pulled it like 97 times in the heat. And so in my determination to show the weed whacker who was boss, I went into the garage and got a hacksaw and sawed it in half and then threw it like a javelin, which unfortunately my wife was watching this while I did this. And she basically said, you need to go to counseling. My legal assistant frequently hears me on the phone when I have to deal with one of those horrific automated things and all she can hear me yelling is, human person, customer service. And then I read somewhere that if you say a trigger word, it will divert you. And so I just say things like, homicide, I will make homicide. Right? So I tend to get irritated. I wasn't irritated about the house burning, but one of the things that did irritate me, and it's related to the Outer Banks, is we have 3 kids. Our oldest is in school in Louisiana. And I would go and stake our claim, put our tent up, right? Our beach tent, front row, that's where we are. And Outer Banks, like, okay, you go to the beach in Jersey, when it's crowded, Cousin Sal and his Speedo might be on your blanket. Outer Banks, there's an understanding that there's a bit of a zone of privacy around your stuff. So every day we were there, and it's Wednesday, and normally what happens is the families with little kids, by 2 o'clock, they're gone, right? Because they got to get back to their house, do whatever. The kids have gone crazy. So we would come back to the beach around 4 o'clock, and by that time, there's almost no one on the beach. I mean, there's maybe 3 families, there's a couple people in the surf. It's great. And I've got us in the front row. So we've got a vista, perfect. Suddenly, the Adams family, they come marching up to our, cabana. And my daughter is on a beach chair right in our cabana. And these people start setting up a micrometer away from us, to the point where they have one of those, I call them the wind sock. Have you guys seen these? It has a flexible thing and then the wind blows it out the back. You know what I'm talking about? It's flapping in my daughter's face. They're so close. And the woman who is setting this up, it's a husband who I will call Beto, and Drizella, their son Damien, and their dog Cujo. They're setting this up. And my daughter, who has my sense of humor, she's not saying anything. She's just looking at me like, what is happening right now? And my wife, so I'm now noticing this. My wife is giving me the eye of Sauron, because she's looking at me like, no, because vacation is about memories and I'm gonna ruin the memories because she sees and it was so ridiculous that the family behind us, they're 20 feet behind us, a husband and wife, they say, oh, we live here year round. We just want to apologize on behalf of the Outer Banks for whatever's happening here, right? And so the lady who's setting this up, a foot from my daughter, what she should have done is turned around and said, oh, I'm sorry, I suffered a closed head injury earlier this week. It's rendered me incapable of understanding spatial relationships. I didn't realize there was 1,000 hectares of sand that we could have gone to set this up. Instead, she just turned around and says, oh, sorry, we're almost done setting up now. So now I have a duplex. We have a duplex with their tent and our tent on the beach. I'm simply trying to ignore, because my wife is still, do not ruin the memories. Do not ruin the memories. So fine, I'm just gonna stare at the ocean because I've set up early and I have a nice vista for us. But of course, Drizella and her crew, they stand in front of me, in front of our tent, from here to me. So now my wife is in the chair, they're standing there. And by the way, look, none of us are at our best anymore, okay? I'm no beach body, but let's just say Drizella, not aesthetically pleasing, and I'm staring at her as they're talking, and I'm now standing up in our tent, and I'm doing this to my wife. I'm like, and she's like, no, say nothing. So I didn't say anything. They stood there, presumably they were talking about when they were